So for this evening, I'm very pleased to introduce Jeffrey Cabot, who's a longtime Woods Hole summer person. And currently he's an epidemiologist at Albert Einstein College of Medicine. And we're pleased to have him tonight speak about hyping health risks. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. This is a topic on which a book that I wrote just came out in the past 2 weeks or so, and publication date is not till August 1st. But what I bring to this question is, for almost 30 years, I've been a practicing epidemiologist doing actual studies of a range of exposures, personal exposures and environmental exposures, and trying to determine do they play an important role in, say, breast cancer or lung cancer, and those kinds of studies that epidemiologists, cancer epidemiologists do. But I also have tried to step back and step back and understand what's going on, because I read the newspaper and I read the abstracts of papers, and I see how if you spend an hour dissecting a paper, you really come away with one interpretation, but then you read the abstract, and the abstract highlights a certain result in a subgroup that's that grabs attention, but it may really be quite irresponsible. And we all know that this goes on. But, okay, let me have the first slide. Okay. This is a partial list, just pulled out of the air, of certain health hazards and alleged health hazards that have gotten play over the past 25 years or so. And you'll notice that it includes foods and dietary factors. It includes consumer items such as cell phones, and it includes environmental exposures. And some of these have had a long run, and I'll talk about one of them. An example is electromagnetic fields, which for 25 years has been fairly prominent in the news, and hundreds of studies have been churned out, and I'll come back to that one as one concrete example that I can dwell on. But other things tend to occur periodically or resurface periodically, and one is coffee. As in March, there was a very attention-grabbing article in the New York Times about caffeine, about coffee drinking, even at very low levels, like having a cup of coffee a day increases the risk of having a miscarriage. And you heard commentators on NPR, I heard in the morning while I was making my coffee, heard people saying that if you have as little as, I don't know, a couple of ounces of coffee, you are getting an appreciable increase in risk. It turns out that this was a really crummy study, and it had no business being highlighted in the way it got highlighted. There's a huge literature on coffee and spontaneous abortion and so forth, and much carefully executed studies which avoid the obvious biases. And the fact is that if you're drinking moderate amounts of coffee, you probably don't have to worry about other things. And some things come up as issues and are fairly quickly disposed of. So these these potential hazards can have different lifespans. And I would just want to add that some of these things are hazards. Some of these things are probably not hazards by a long shot, given the amount that we're exposed to. But some of these are very nasty compounds, and if in fact we were being exposed to high levels of them, there's cause to concern. But you have to look at what the exposure is. So, next. I hope you can make out this slide.
Sure.
Because there's a real truth. There's a real truth behind this slide, and because people have huge data sets on hundreds of thousands of, tens of thousands of breast cancer patients and all sorts of other outcomes of interest, and then they have these long questionnaires with 300, 400 items, and they have information on income and age and reproductive history and all sorts of things. And what you can do is you can generate a lot of papers. and if you have graduate students need topics to work on, and so actually you can sort of look at the different combinations, and this goes on. And so some of these questions may be worth asking. Some of the data may be informative, but one has to be aware there's an actual truth to this. Next. And I love this one. This says, woman watching the evening news, and it says, powerful antioxidants that can promote good health found in chocolate. Wait, this just in. Harmful saturated fats found in chocolate. And this really captures a basic truth about the information that's put out there. Now, I think that for the past 10 years, people have been aware that this is a problem. And the epidemiologists and the scientists tend to say, well, the media plays things up, and what can you do? And other people point out that scientists play a role in some of this. And so I think that it's more complicated and bears looking at. So I think this is a rich, and the reason I pursued this is I think this is a very rich topic. It's very interesting, and I don't think it's received anywhere near the kind of serious treatment that it deserves. So next.